There you go.
I would say just take off. I'm moving the window over. I can't stare
Left,
at that
right,
log.
double, double. Left, right, double,
Oh
double.
my! The windows need to be adjusted.
Oh, was that one gold? Was that gold? I think I saw a hint of gold. Oh, the luck! The freaking luck is insane! JTK44, I get really excited about Mount.
There you go.
I would say just take off. I'm moving the window over. I can't stare
Left,
at that
right,
wall.
double, double. Left, right, double,
Oh
double.
my, the windows need to be adjusted.
Oh, was that one gold? Was that gold? I think I saw a hint of gold. Oh, the luck! The freaking luck is insane! JTK44, I get really excited about Mount.
Welcome, friends, to the Unknown Traveler's Tavern. Well, I cannot tell you the whole story. What I can tell you is that 5 years ago, 2 adventurers began a journey that would take them through Tamriel. And it all began here at this very tavern. Today, we find ourselves in the same spot, but with 2 different adventurers, Peanut and Gone Crazy. Now, it's been quite some time that these 2 have been traveling the roads of Tamriel. Through delves and dungeons, they've searched day and night. They've traveled across the land. They've fought Daedra, and they spent gold on anything that might help them find a lead. They've read lore books, they've deciphered maps, and spoken with men in Myr, but still have found no sign of their beloved friends or any antiquities of interest. Though frustrated and tired, they keep hoping for just one mention of something that might help them. As we join them, we find our 2 travelers back in the place where it all began.
5 years. Can you believe it?
No, not at all. But also, it feels like we've been looking for something for 5 years. My gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty intense journey, looking around, searching for all sorts of fun things, but I still can't
Honestly,
believe that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, honestly, I thought we would find something in Blackwood, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is.
We could always catch a boat to High Isle.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
we could do that.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? I think we're just gonna hang out here and have a drink and sip on this lovely glass of whiskey.
Nah. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna order.
Greetings, travelers.
Hey, what?
Welcome to the Loreseekers podcast.
Did you invite him?
No.
Join our 2 adventurers as
I
they
didn't
share
invite
Buddy.
him either.
tales of
Buddy,
misadventure in
you're a
the
couple
land
years too late. No,
of
stop.
Tamriel.
Stop.
Hey, it's great to see you again. However, I think you're looking for the other 2, not us.
Yeah, I clearly have hair on my head, and so does bacon.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know what? Grab a drink and just hang out, and then you can just go away.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see you. Don't get us wrong.
Agreed.
We're glad to have you here, but you know,
I thought he was dead. Just
he didn't go the
throwing
way
it
of
out
Stuga.
there.
I don't think so. You know, that's
Apparently
kind of
not,
what's going on?
but-
And so, yeah, it's okay.
So
What is that?
what? Whoa, Duck! Get under the tables!
Oh God!
Jeez! What?
Hello?
Hey!
Dude, I told you, left at Coruscant.
Man, you never tell me the right place. First it's Korriban, then they change it to
Oh.
Moraban. What am I supposed to do?
What you're
Oh my
supposed
God.
to do is not suck at combat. That's what we do.
I know.
Okay,
This place
well,
looks familiar though.
Guys, what? Wait, what?
okay, clean yourselves off. You're filthy. You're getting mud all over the floor. Come over and have a seat.
All right,
First
I
of
didn't
all,
think it was
that's
like
and I hate it. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Oh,
The good news is we didn't leave a
goodness.
tack on your chair like Jibbs usually does to you, so.
Typically, that is what happens. So, how are you guys doing? My goodness, it has been way too long. Chat is freaking out right now.
Oh, look at chat.
Oh my God.
Hey, everybody.
The worst
Hey,
kept best
everybody.
secret.
Right? Yeah, there are absolutely more faces, more people. So,
Oh, look, it's Pack
This
Rat.
one's-
Oh my gosh, so many faces. Crown. I remember you.
So many
Digital?
good people.
Aaron?
Aaron? Rose?
Rothgar?
Greg, is that you?
Joey?
so many familiar faces that are popping in here. What is up, everybody?
Oh man.
Someone,
Crown
who dis?
SO.
Who dis?
Who dis? I don't know who this is.
So cool. So
I'm
cool.
like,
Our-
you guys, I'm like,
Little shaky in the
shaky.
hands. Pretty crazy. So, can I just say, yeah, probably like the best / worst kept secret was trying to get all this organized, and I'm so glad that we actually got it organized, which is freaking awesome. Before we dive too far into this, you guys want to drink?
oh
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Love one.
I think there's someone who actually wants to see you.
Well, look who it is. What can I get you?
Oh.
Jibbs,
It's
you look
you.
stunned. You're like, I thought I was never going to see you again.
Honestly, she showed back up like about a few days ago. I think somebody tipped her off.
Hmm.
As long as she didn't
Agreed.
bring Stu with her, we're fine.
no, I hear Stuga's wandering the wilds now, so
Hopefully,
thank
nobody
God.
tipped off the male guy because those boots
Ooh.
get the floor muddy all the time.
every time, and he's always wearing that loincloth. Hit that stupid loincloth.
He
I'll
spent a lot
start
of
off
time in
with
Syria.
I'll start off with a whiskey if that's okay. Gone crazy?
Honestly, I think I'm just gonna have a coffee for now.
Coffee for gone crazy.
You know
Jibbs?
what? Make it an Irish coffee.
Oh, and there you go. There's the spirit. 5 years, have an Irish coffee.
I want the stinkiest rot meth you've got.
Oh,
Well,
Double.
we got
Tall.
plenty of that in the back.
lots in the back. You know how long it took to hide that stuff in the furthest recesses of the cellar?
That's fair. I mean, it was pretty rough. That was a
I'm gonna have
special.
But have a Tamrielic liquid IV, please.
Tamrielic liquid IV. Got to get yourself settled after whatever it was you guys were going through over there. So,
Wow. Oof. Yeah, nobody's injured, right? Nobody needs like a healer or anything. You
Now,
guys-
only my feelings. It's the #1 injury in the galaxy when you're riding with this.
Thank you.
this person.
I mean,
This
go on.
Hurt feelings. Writing it up for workers' comp.
Awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
She's been putting up with us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been away a little bit, but yeah, she's been good. So we're glad you hired her back in
Always
the day.
was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Priceless.
Oh goodness. Well, welcome back, boys.
Well, thank
Back
you.
you're back in the tavern. Like
Yes, we are. We knew this place looked familiar, and it was really nice to get the invite to come back. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. This was very kind.
hey, well, thanks for giving us the keys a few months ago.
You got it. You've been keeping the place up quite
Oh,
well, I might say.
We tried.
we're
pretty cool.
trying. We try.
Yeah.
We try.
We definitely tried. That's for sure.
It was that one last wipe of the bar before you guys left. So I hear you're in a different tavern, but still a tavern? Where you been?
We
Beach
are.
place full of
Jib.
scum and villainy.
Jibbs.
Full of scum and villainy. Mm-mm.
Scum and villainy.
Yeah, so we're in a tavern in space.
A space wizard's tavern?
A space wizard's tavern. I think is probably right. Cash.
Yeah, we kind of never stopped creating. I mean, we've been in a few different places. We've obviously never stopped playing games. I mean, we're playing games like crazy and keeping up with you guys, which is pretty awesome. To be able to keep up with you and see what you've done with Loreseekers and how the name has carried on has been pretty darn cool. But so Jibbs, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of laughables because we're never done. Like we're always doing something. So we dabbled a bit with podcasting about a game out there that is never. We don't even know if it's gonna take off or not. But we did a little bit with Ashes for a very short while, and then we moved on to New World, and we're always kind of looking for the next thing to grab our interest. There's really never a next best thing. We've kind of figured that part out. It's just always something that we're interested in at the moment. So we tried out both those games, podcasts about them a little bit. I don't think there's going to be a game out there that we like for maybe even like a half a year that we don't decide to put to the mics. It's just kind of goes hand in hand with our gaming. We just got done with a short run show that we did for Guild Wars 2, just trying Guild Wars 2 out for what was it, probably about 6 months, Jibbs.
So you guys had a few
that
episodes for that.
Yeah, we
show, yeah.
It was a
talk about
great limited run show too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're always kind of looking for something to get on the mics and talk about. So that one was a limited run show where we just want to do like the new player experience, but we're still constantly trying to evolve the listener experience and how we present things to the listeners. If you haven't heard that one, it's kind of a fun show too. We throw some voice acting and some different stuff in there. But anyway, Jibbs, you want to talk about what Space Wizards Tavern is? I mean, it is a tavern.
It
like
is.
space.
It is, yeah. So they came to a point where, and kind of to go off what Cash was saying, like always looking at really what it is. It's like when we started, and I don't want to jump ahead because I know this could bleed into one of your questions, but for us, it was always we wanted to keep pushing, to continuously keep pushing, and it was always that way behind the mics on Loreseekers. We would be happy and joyful on a stream, and we get off and be like, man, we missed this. I mean, we would always pick ourselves apart, and we were always just pushing, and then that kind of goes with whatever show, whatever the game is that we do. It's we always want to push quality. We want to try new things and just see what happens. And it's true, like, and you guys are living testament. Once you're bit by the podcasting bug, it never leaves you. I tell my students, it's just like audio will ruin you. You'll never hear things the same again. You'll watch a movie, you'll hear something different. And so it's no different in podcasting. And so Space Wizards Tavern really for us is like kind of a home or a hub of the things that we've created, so people can just come and enjoy it and just embrace it. I think we kind of joked around and we call it, quote, questing for your ear holes. Just
I love it.
sit back, enjoy whatever it is, and just have fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think what's amazing about you guys, I mean, starting with Loreseekers and just like kind of watching the progression of everything you've done is, I love that you're kind of, like you said, always trying to push the boundaries, always trying to do that, because I think that's what inspires other people to want to do it. I mean, the two of us wouldn't be sitting here in this place, if you all hadn't done that for us or hadn't, kind of started this community and all of those things. And I love that you guys are gamers, more so than anything else as well, besides the questing for the ear holes, right? From the podcasting side, like you just love games. You love gaming and you love the communities around it and what drives the industry forward. And I think it's sometimes forgotten by people because people will get focused in on, one game or one thing that they love the most, but there's so much out there, and it's not that you can't be that way. I mean, everybody in this chat knows that I play mostly ESO these days, right? But that's not because I don't love other games or because I don't want to do other stuff. It's just because there's only so much time in the day.
Right.
But,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just think it's phenomenal that you guys get to kind of distribute that talent, and I like that Space Wizards Tavern is giving you the ability to be able to, distribute that to different people and do different gaming and all of those things. It's really, really great.
Thanks.
Yeah, Space Wizards Tavern is actually, it's not just us two. There was a member of Loreseekers quite a while back when we were there, and you guys might remember him. His name is Sonny Ravencourt. That's what he names every single one of his female characters.
Female characters, yeah.
That to be, but he's been a podcasting friend for us. He's an incredible talent, and he's been a podcasting friend of ours for years and years, like all the way back to when he had a podcast for Star Wars: The Old Republic, like 2 years before it came out, which was pretty cool. So we've periodically created things with him, and we decided to just to trio up, all three of us, and Space Wizards Tavern was born. And it's new. I mean, what, maybe a year, Jibbs? So
Mm-hmm. Less than
starting
you,
to
yeah.
create stuff, and there's some stuff out there that I'm sure we'll talk about if anybody's interested in the new things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Jibbs, just on the note of you mentioning how you'll never hear audio the same. When I started kind of getting all this stuff together, and Katie and I really kind of started working together and figuring this stuff out, I find myself listening to podcasts, radio show hosts, basically every kind of raw audio content you can find, and just like assessing how can I take that style and utilize it. And you're so right. Like you'll never listen to just audio, even if it's music or whatnot. You'll never hear it the same way that you used to, because you're always going to be picking it apart or finding ways to improve or take that kind of side of things and put it into what you do in terms of content creation. So I just kind of chuckled when you said that. I'm like, yeah, I've caught myself doing that on multiple occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's audio is a journey, and I always tell you're gonna hear me reference students a lot. I'm sorry, I teach audio engineering now.
It's
So
all
for
good.
me, it's no two people will take the same audio path. It's just when they start stepping into this thing and your audio ear develops over time, and it truly takes time. It's taken every bit of 10 years just for us to get to where we're at. Cash and I, honestly, actually, he started before I did, and so it's been every bit of 10 plus years that we've been casting, and it really does. Like it's funny, if you watch a horror flick and you hit mute, it becomes a comedy. If you if you're listening to a song, you're like, oh, I love the way it's produced, but then you'll pick up really quick, like, wow, something in this sounds really weird, really off. It's because your audio ear is now picking these things up. And how how you brought that up, is absolutely true. That's what it was for us too back in the day. It was, for me personally, it was ESPN, Mike and Mike in the morning. I was watching Greeny, how he was hosting, how he was
Yeah.
moving from point A to point B, segments, what this looks like. And it's just a big journey. And so I'm glad that you guys have both just jumped full bore into it, because you guys are crushing it. You guys do such a good job. Such a good job.
Thank
So
you.
hats off.
Oh,
Appreciate that. Before we dive too much into this, I realized that I had a bot in the channel that was telling us to do the giveaway. So that was my bad. I forgot to turn that off. So we're gonna run two giveaways. Yeah, you guys already know about the first one. The first giveaway is going to be for a torch bug. So in a moment here, I'm going to turn on the actual bot, and you guys can start doing your callouts for that. And then, do we want to tell them what the second giveaway is, or do you want to wait until later?
Nah, save it for later.
Save it for later. It's going to be awesome. So, giveaway is now up and running for a torch bug. All you need to do is type !torch bug into the chat, and you'll be entered. There is only one entry. You do need to be in the channel to claim it, and we will do the draw in a little bit here. So, yeah, we can kind of carry on with this.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
So,
yeah, go ahead, Peanut.
I was going to say, so you guys got a chance to view a lot of those screenshots from the slideshow at the beginning of the stream. What were kind of a couple of the ones that really kind of jumped out? And you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that.
Well, I saw a certain picture on there of Kashmir, which I was hoping wasn't going to make the reel, but I guess you really can't leave Kashmir out.
You can't. You really can't. That's like
memory.
Yeah, that is a staple moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Throw that out there real quick. That was for the kids.
Oh man, that was too good.
Honestly,
So-
I imagine Cashmere with the mustache now.
Oh, that would be like 10 times better. Something out of your
Like
nightmares.
full bore running away.
Oh, jeez.
That would be terrifying to children.
Trucker Cashmere. There you go. As Minmi
Oh,
Pro puts
boy.
it in there. Trucker Cashmere. Put a little trucker hat on and
Was
you'd be
really
good.
running from.
Honestly, I think seeing some of the pictures from the latest event that ESO held in Vegas brought back a ton of nostalgia for me because I got to be at the last one they did, like mere minutes before COVID destroyed the entire effing world. Which I thought was funny, but I got to see a lot of familiar faces in there, like Geek and Max, and just you guys, like so much so that I was like, don't get verklempt because you know it's gonna happen. As I get older, I get much more emotional about things, and it's okay. I was told by Jibbs today, it's okay.
It's
You
okay.
can-
This
you
is a
can-
safe place.
It's a safe place. So
Tavern
safe
yeah,
is a
place.
safe spot.
just the nostalgia of seeing a lot of the screenshots and stuff, and just so freaking cool that you guys have kept this thing going, and it is stronger than ever. I would imagine your numbers are stronger than ever. It's
Yeah.
just pretty freaking cool to have been at the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pick like out of those. I mean, there's so many memories, and you know, I'm glad Cash brought it up. You know, the whole latest reveal event and seeing all the pictures and people, you know, just having fun and smiling and laughing and just having that family vibe. You know, like that's something that continues to be very much intact at Loreseekers, and that I think at its heart, that's really what it is, was family. You know, and so that was really touching. I think the part that I liked the most that caught me off guard, I didn't realize there was going to be audio for the left right double scene. I had forgotten all about that, and I also forgot how much those shook in that video, Cash. So that was quite the image. Quite
What?
the image.
It was chest and try day. What am I going to say?
You know what? Blood was flowing. I get it.
Oh man, that's too
So
good.
good.
A couple of the ones that are coming up in chat here. Obviously, Kashmir is a big one. Everyone loved that. There's a few screenshots in there from our celebration of life for our dear friend and fellow lore seeker, fallen captain or Brooks. So that
Yeah.
I think it was a powerful one where a lot of people I think really realized the power of community and just how close this community is. Even when it spans across multiple RPs and multiple platforms, this community is through and through very bonded together, which is huge. So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Sure. Oh man. Well, I think it's only appropriate, you know, because we have had some new people since you all were here last in the tavern. How did this start? What the heck? How did we get where we're sitting today? Like, the
You-
abridged version. No,
The Cash, your face is just like
It was a dark alley.
No, I'm like,
it was a dark and stormy night in Tampa.
I'm like the weird girlfriend that's looking at him to go, he better remember. Honestly,
I remember exactly where I was.
oh God.
You go
We have
ahead, but
applications?
I have a location. I do. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
Well,
I do.
I remember where I was because it was hot.
you?
It was during the summer. I remember that.
It was
Yeah, because
hot. Yep.
it was very hot here. I'm still in Southern California, and Jibbs is still in Indiana. But um, I had started playing the game, and I was pretty serious about playing the game. And Jibbs and I hadn't talked in a while, and what was it because of that one thing?
No, they
Oh.
say chat kind of says we met definitely at band camp.
Yeah, if we met at band camp, I played the triangle because I'm not musically inclined like Jibbs is. But we had taken some time apart. No, we had just had our lives had just kind of separated for a little while, and I wasn't gaming a whole lot, and Jibbs was doing other stuff, and then we had finally hooked back up as friends and started talking and doing all kinds of stuff. And we've been friends for a long, long time. But you know how life is. So we ended up talking and about different games that we were playing stuff. And I was like, dude, have you ever played ESO? And we ended up the whole story behind how it started when we wanted to start podcasting about this game is really like the old, the better mousetrap, drawn out on a bar napkin. is kind of how it was, because it was just text messages back and forth for a few days, and we came up with this concept of like, we don't just want to do a podcast about this thing that we like.
Mhm.
We want to do a podcast about this thing that we like and bring every single listener into the experience if they're cutting the lawn, trying to ignore their boss with headphones on, or just they can't be in Tamriel, no problem. We're going to bring it to you. And that's where the whole idea for the tavern came in. That's where the whole idea for kind of the pseudo dramatized version of our show came in. And like when I think about that bar napkin idea, like that literally is how it happened. I mean, I was just walking around the house and thinking of things, and we had gotten off the phone because like Jibbs and I talk every single day, probably twice a day. We talk on the phone. And I remember a lot of our conversations when we get off the phone, they continue in text messages, like until he goes to bed. And I'm like, okay, he's asleep. I'm not going to text him anymore because he's 3 hours ahead of me. But it literally happens that way. And it's no different with how we came up with the concept for the show.
Yeah. I remember being at my job, and I remember, you know, it was honestly about 6 months because you were doing some education thing that I don't remember exactly, but
I was in the Sheriff's Academy.
Sheriff's Academy. That's what it
Remember,
was.
I
Oh,
definitely remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it was full bore, and we just kind of like we're just kind of like diverged just a little bit, and it's like, okay, then we get back together, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think I've ever told you this. I was really not wanting to do a show. I never told you this, Kash. Never wanted to step into podcasting again. Like I was just like, I just wasn't feeling it. Like I don't do it. And I remember texting you. And by the way, he's selling me this game at this point. He's selling me like because for back then it was like, hey, I remember this game from 2014, and it just didn't stick for me then. And I was a totally different gamer then. You know, fast forward 10 years later almost, and so it's just like I don't know, like, and you're like, honestly, I did the show because I wanted to be with Kash, straight beginning and end of it.
That's so sweet.
Because I'm like, do you want to do a show? And he's like, hell yeah, I want to do a show. We're gonna do it. And so we're just like, from that
And
point
it
on,
sounded
was
exactly like that.
It sounded exactly like that. So it became, you know, like the just this thing, and it just grew. And there was an immense amount of I always say this off in the Kash, off the air. You know, good or bad, whatever. Um, Everything that took place in that time period, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because the amount of experience that we were able to gain in such a ungodly small amount of time, like it just flew by. You know, it was like 2 years. It just continues to pay dividends, and that's things that we carry forward and are able for listeners of whatever we're involved in. All three of us now with Sunny, um, and it's just, it all truly started, I think, for us, like figuring out casting and stuff. I think it really started with Loreseekers, truthfully. Everything from dialing in community management to, you know, show design, really dialing in show notes design. I mean, you guys know what show notes are like and everything. That's just, I could
important.
keep rambling, but I mean, it's just that's how it started, pretty much.
And I think it was the point for us where we realized that there's so much more to you know, not just producing a show, but there's so much more to what you're doing when there's a community backing you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We never understood the relationship between a developer and a content creator.
No.
And ZeniMax showed us that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
nobody else showed us that. ZeniMax reached out and showed us what that is supposed to look like. And we've not had that experience anywhere before, nor have we had it anywhere after. That is the pinnacle of, if you want to be a content creator, that is the relationship that you strive to have. And the developers of this game are those people. Like they are the ones who truly understand that, because a lot of these other development companies don't get that. and they miss out on so much loyalty and love. And I mean, we would defend anything they
Mhm.
did for just, for love of them, even if something was lacking or missing, or maybe there was a F up with this or that. We would articulate that differently when you have the love for those people behind the game because of the way that they treated us. Every game has its problems, but
Right.
if you're really going to truly build a relationship with developers, you have to have heart and understand that they have put their heart and soul. And look at Rich. At this point, it's what, maybe 15, 16 years
Yeah.
that he's been working on this project. You think this project is not a massive part of his life? It is. So those are the things that we had no idea that existed, like that relationship between developers and content creators, and ZeniMax showed us that.
Mm.
Well, and what's even crazy about that is that continues on because even just myself going to the event just recently, like the Loreseekers name itself and just watching them interact with everyone just in general was so impressive to me. I mean, I had people come up, developers come up to me and introduce themselves to me. The lore master came up and introduced himself to me, and I was literally like, because I almost couldn't process that. Like, but I'm just a lowly player who has a Bosmer Nightblade that gets killed in Cyrodiil. Like, I play with PvE gear and PvP. Like, what? So, I like what you say is true. I mean, when the developers build that relationship with their community and then the communities themselves are a family, like what it produces is this incredible like electric energy no matter what is being done, whether it's podcast content, video content, like just Discord communities in general. It's really impressive. So
Yep, very true. And then you take the community as a whole, which to this day we have not found a community better than the ESO community. And then you take your family within the game, which Loreseekers is and was, and those folks who are all here. I mean, there's so many names. There's not a name in here that I don't recognize. And that's because that's what a family's about,
Agreed.
and so even though, Jibbs and I have, left the game and moved on to other projects and stuff, we still keep an eye on things that are going on.
Oh
Always.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just I don't know if you'll ever hear this, but I just want to shout out to Dom from the dev team. That was when we first started, and I'll be honest, I remember going back and listening to that first episode. I'm like, oh, Dom, what did you see in that? I mean, that is like showing up with my hair, just not out of place. I mean, we did not sound great.
Maybe
But
not your hair out of place.
that's fair. I'll take that. I'll take that. I actually had hair when we started. Thank you. You did that. So anyway, Dom he took a chance and reached out to us over email, and then next thing you know, you're featured on the website, and which in turn kickstarted the entire thing with Zoss and the community. And I'll never forget when the Discord opened up the very first day, and I'm sitting there at my job. I was able to be on Discord, and I was just watching. Because that would tell you when these people are going to arrive at the link, right? At that moment in the show. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and boom, there is Caddy Jax. There is Gone Crazy. Weren't you there?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Day one.
Day
Yep.
one. And just all these
Gee.
people just started flowing in, and it just took off to, like 2,000 plus members. I mean, it just all in less than 2 years. And just seeing, I think the most rewarding thing for me is you see the interactions between people. You saw people who may not have a ton of friends in, IRL or in their immediate vicinity, but they had family here. And it was just always so special just to watch. Because oftentimes that's what we do. We just sit back and, I mean, like, it sounds creepy when you say it out loud, but I mean, like, we don't need to be involved in every conversation. You just want to see the pulse of the community. And, everyone's just,
Watch.
Always watching. But so it was just cool. It was just really cool.
Yeah. Um, so with that, I mean, sorry, I'm totally Peanut if I'm stepping on your toes, but it
No,
just
you're
kind of
good.
feels natural at the moment. Like, what do you think then, guys, makes having this like community sort of driven experience special for a gaming community or special for players? Because, you know, like you said, this is a family, and a lot of games don't have that. Or some people come in and they've never experienced Discord before, right? And then we get this sort of like family bond that we have here in the Loreseekers Discord. And I remember you guys on the show saying like, "Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a guild, and we're not gonna have a Discord, and we're not gonna do all of these things." And then
And here we are 5 years later.
all of a sudden, it was like, "Okay, no, yeah, we made a PC guild." And then all of the console people were like, hello, excuse me,
I don't have a controller.
I have a
Are you
controller, but I still want to be part of the family."
are you
Yeah.
speaking for yourself or other people?
Yes. Yes,
That
I
was
am. It was Caddy. I mean, honestly, it was Caddy and Never were really it. I mean, I had just had my son, so I was kind of a lurker in Discord, but I was there. But I do remember being like, they're gonna make one? Wait, there's a console guild? I just literally stopped exactly what I was doing and went over and turned on my PlayStation.
I
oh, that
love,
was
I
crazy
love.
to navigate. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, I think having a community-driven experience when you have a family, and I keep using the word family because that's exactly what it is. And like real talk behind the veil, like I don't have a whole lot of like real world friends that like I go and hang out at a bar with or something around here. I have my work acquaintances and certain friends and that I do. But when to get my social experience, I have my online friends. Like look at, I live across the nation from Jibbs, and like I said, like we talk twice a day. That's gaming. So when you have friends like that, friends like this that you can share your day with when you log in at night onto Discord. I don't care where you are across the world. That transcends any game.
Yeah.
Any game. Doesn't matter what game it is. When you create those relationships with somebody where you may or may not have never met that person in real life, but you ask them, you're at that point where you're asking them how their day was, or hey, how's your mom?
Hmm.
That's community.
Yeah.
And that will transcend any game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. From a content creator standpoint, like people that are it's weird because it's echo chamber of like how everything like works. Like the people listen to what you do and they like it, and then but the other side of it is people have never even heard what you're doing, but they also just like discover the guild in game and then learn about everything as they arrive and meet all these people. For us it was always like the punchline of gaming's better with friends. It's
Mhm.
better when you're with people and watching the relationships form. Yeah, I text Cash all the time. I send him stupid gifts all the time just because. We talk all the
Sounds
time during the
familiar.
day. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah.
No,
You guys know exactly what's up. So, like it the relationships that you form, uh, I would never trade ever in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely never. I mean, this is my family. Cash and Sunny family. It's just it's just how it goes.
Yeah. So
I think
good.
for
So good.
just on the note of community driven experience, I think Katie, you and I experienced that quite a bit when we took on the role of basically restarting the podcast in itself. And I remember you and I having a conversation like, well, we'll see what happens. And when our first episode went live, it was exactly that. Everyone showed up. They were like, you know what, this is so cool. The podcast is back. There's a new experience. There's some new people with a new twist. And people welcomed us with open arms, realistically, which was awesome. So I definitely agree. Like these are the community in gaming is huge, and this is a community that is very tight knit and very close. So
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pull a question really quick because I think it's good since we're kind of talking about the beginnings of things. Stouts wants to know: does anybody remember what the Loreseekers did for their very first official guild event?
Oh gosh,
I'm not sure.
was it an awkward prom where they like the girls walked from the other side to the dudes and asked if they wanted to dance, like a Sadie Hopkins?
Did you say Sadie Hopkins?
Isn't that what that is?
Nope.
Sadie Hawkins.
Nope. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Well, at least I
Not
pronounced
even
it
a little
right.
bit.
I mean, we're batting a thousand there.
You need your Dwemer drops, Jibbs.
First
Oh my
event
gosh, I
was
forgot about that.
Dwemer drop.
Dwemer drops.
We should have given you guys some of those to play.
Oh.
Oh, those were fun.
Oh man.
Oh my
I
gosh.
wanna say, was it a World Boss Wednesday, or was it the one where we did lawn darts off the top of that off the top of that?
Off the top ropes.
Yeah, no. Remember there was that giant cliff. I forget what. I think it was right off in Oregon. There was that massive cliff, and we did lawn darts off the top of that to see if you could get close to the spot.
Rose said it was lawn darts. Very good.
That's
All right,
awesome.
man. That event was so fun. You get down to measuring bodies by fingertips, like whose fingers were longer.
That's right. Just leave it
Have
up
a-
to us to make up some stupid shit like that.
Oh, so good.
You have to have a certified and authorized fingertip for measuring distance.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
Well,
that was
Correct.
And the fun thing about that is, like, you all had people start events like that on PC and whatnot, but then it's carried over to the other platforms, which is really fun, which has kind of evolved to what we're doing now too, which is multi-platform events. We try and run stuff at the same time across all the platforms. We did like a multi-platform dragon hunt. We've got some other stuff in the works for later in the year, but it's just fun to see that evolution over the 5 years of kind of like what started with lawn darts and World Boss Wednesday has continued to, grow into other events and things that now encompass basically all of the platforms, which is a really really cool thing. And also, honestly, how many guilds in a game, not just necessarily this game, but in a game in general, can say that they have people that span every platform? Like that
And
is
mega
honestly
server,
one of the
realistically.
things, and every mega server. Like that is one of the things that I remember drew me. I mean, I was here on day one, but I remember, kind of kept me drawn into this community too, is the fact that there were people from all walks of life, all platforms, and there was not really, a lot of the like, oh, well, you play on this, so I'm not talking to you situation, which I love about this community. I love that. I think it's great. Yeah.
Agreed.
I think one of the fun things that we pulled too from I'm gonna call her out because we've called her out a couple times now, Caddy Jacks. We
Where's
had a channel. Where is she? Where is she? She had
Where is
a
she?
post that she did a while back, and I asked her if I could use it because I loved what she said. She said, "Where to begin? I have no idea what got me looking for an Elder Scrolls podcast, as podcasts are not my thing. But then I came across Loreseekers. Then a Discord started with a PC guild, and us console plebs would not be ignored, so we talked them into a PS4 chapter. Many great times with them until my PS4 went bye-bye. Briefly played on Xbox, then finally made the jump to PC this year. Over the last 4 years, because that's when she posted it, I've met and talked with so many wonderful, supportive people, and I'm thankful for every one of you. I'm proud to be a Loreseeker for life." And the fun part is, she's back on PlayStation now.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. We love Caddy.
Caddy has the trifecta. She's played Loreseekers on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. So
Wow.
combo.
Oh
She
my
has
gosh,
she has the trifecta.
that's a lot of leveling. Gonna
That's a
throw that.
lot of leveling.
That's a lot of dedication.
That's a
This
lot
is
of
one of the
fishing.
games that makes it very difficult. Like it's an undertaking to get those levels up. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine like starting all the way from one. Whoosh.
It hurts.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she did Master Angler on all 3 platforms.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
There is
you
some
Did some
dedication
work.
right there.
That's a lot of
Mm,
fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a fun little call out there. Another one that I think is really fun since we're talking about community, and I think that this has happened overall for a lot of people is it just said Sparky Bagman. We love Sparky.
Hey, Sparky.
Yeah, we do.
He still takes care of the bank. Sparky's the
He
man
is,
you throw your gold at. Yeah.
and he's
Um,
multi server now.
I know.
He's on
he's
EU,
really-
and then he comes over to NA, and he runs events on NA, and he runs trials on
Nice.
EU, and that guy
Yeah.
is just
Gets around.
dedicated.
He
Yeah,
gets
he does.
he gets around. But he said, for me, Loreseekers changed the game from a single player experience to a social one. Thank you to all who facilitated that. That became so much more important as we endured the most restrictive periods of COVID rules and regulations. Life would have been less bearable without you all. There are so many highlights and a few low points in my time here. It's given me the most satisfaction, helping players to overcome their fear of an aspect of the game, whether that be group dungeons, trials, or PvP. I hope I've given back or passed on a little of what I have gained. People here are awesome, and Brits don't use that word so easily. I look forward to many more moments with you all.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I miss hearing that voice too. And
Mhm.
Sparky always sounded like one of my coworkers. So that was always special for me to hear his voice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so great. So great. Sparky was one of the ones that helped me when I got started on PC, and I blame you, Jibbs, for that.
Well, it's about freaking time you showed up.
Yeah.
I mean,
PC.
gosh.
Come on.
I know it
Duh.
was so, but it was so great. It was so fun on my little poor laptop that could barely handle the game as I streamed it at lowest quality or on Stadia.
Was your fans just like a high power?
Yeah, it sounded like
Just
my
worrying.
my laptop was a drone. It was like like taking off.
Take
and then
off.
flying
Oh, that's
around.
awesome. Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
That's too good.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm moving the show notes around accidentally.
You're
Mhm.
It's
moving
okay,
the
it's like
show
show note
notes
roulette.
around. Don't do that. Show note roulette.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely fantastic.
Show.
This next kind of segment kind of speaks to me a little bit. So, like when I came in and joined Loreseekers, I had just gotten out of a guild that just burned me right down to the ground, and was kind of looking for a community to jump into. I thought I knew a lot about the game. I really didn't. So, you know, one of the most consistent things with a lot of communities, and especially with this one, is how helpful and how kind people are, both new and seasoned returning players. Um, it definitely is an important part about this guild, is making sure that people that are coming in are like they feel welcome, and then those that are coming into the game for the very first time. I mean, this game is almost 10 years old, and there are people that are still coming in for the very first time. So, having a community like this that does lore runs where the people that want that introduction to the story can absolutely get it. And those that are wanting to learn trials, learn dungeons, learn PvP. The guild that I was a part of was very PvP focused. So I didn't even know any of the dungeons and trials. Hell, when I came over here, I didn't even realize you could eat food to give yourself a 2-hour buff. And I'd been playing the game for 3 years.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a huge part. I guess one of the questions that I kind of have for both you guys is what was kind of the big spark for you guys to really push that forward when building this community up, is focusing on teaching and supporting and encouraging? Like, what was the drive, what was the thought, what was the mindset behind kind of that direction when you guys were starting this community?
I think for us, I mean, it just came down to being kind, and just it was really pretty much that. We wanted it to be, because we knew the inevitable. Like we talk on the mic, like, yeah, we're not sure we're doing a guild. Oh, we're doing a guild, and the doors have opened. Let them all
Opened
come
up.
in. And then it's just like, so it really came down to just kindness, and as far as like the teaching, like the motive really was. I think I'm understanding your question right. Like it was just the motive was really just to bring people together and bring them to a good place,
Yeah.
to a place where it just like whatever's happening out in life doesn't come here. Like whatever's going on over there, out in the world, politically, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It it stops here. But you
Yeah.
can come in and you can be a part of, and meet ESO fans from all over the world, and Lore Seekers is a perfect representation of that. You guys have people from all over the world, every time zone, I think is pretty much covered. It's just incredible the span and the reach that you guys have continued on in the community, and it really started. Cash, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but to me, like it just goes back to kindness and a place where they can, just huddle around.
No, you nailed it. I think, going back to kindness, everybody remembers that MMO experience. Some people might not. Sometimes ESO is somebody's first MMO, but I've had several times in all of the 5 million MMOs that I've played in my elder age, where you always remember the people that are in the new zones and they're willing to help. If anybody has any questions, shout them out. I've seen that a whole bunch of times, and I saw that in ESO. ESO is a 10-year-old game with a lot of content. It is a very overwhelming game if you do not have help. There's a lot of small tricks and idiosyncrasies with the game that can help somebody out greatly as they begin their journey in Tamriel. And we wanted Lore Seekers to be that go-to guild where there's people there from all levels, but the folks who knew how to play the game would readily help the new players coming in. Because without new players, you don't have a healthy influx anymore, and a game dies. But when somebody knows that a community or hears rumor that, hey, ESO's community is pretty cool, you get yourself in those games and you stay in those games when a majority of the people out there are willing to help and guide and be kind. And how many games have you guys played where you ask a question in chat, in like a general chat, and the first response is something snarky? Your mom.
Yeah.
If I could virtually put my hands around that person's neck, maybe shoulders, and just a little baby shake, just straighten them out, I would love to do that.
Just a little
And
baby shake.
a little
Just
baby
a little.
shake.
Just a taste.
It's the taste of the glory. And that's exactly what we wanted to avoid with Lore Seekers. We wanted, and I'm telling you, like for a while, until folks started to get the hint about what Lore Seekers was, we were very heavy-handed on stuff like that. That would turn into
Yeah.
messages like, "Hey, bro, that's not how we do things in Lore Seekers."
Yes. Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
you may not like it, but that is not the way we do it here. And people started to kind of catch on. And now, what reputation does Lore Seekers have in the ESO community? It's pretty badass to see that this is continued. And that's really the kindness part was a massive part of why we started. And then Jibbs hit on it too. We wanted our community to be an escape from the real world. Everybody has opinions on everything. This world is jacked up. We know it. Doesn't matter where you land. I don't care. Have at it. You can talk about that stuff outside of the game all you want. You want to go to private channel? Go to private channel, talk about it someplace else. But do not bring that stuff into this game that is an escape for everybody from the real world. In my line of work, I see all kinds of things. I don't want to think about those things when I'm playing my game. That's my escape. That's my release. It's my freaking therapy. And it is that way for a lot of people out there, that they want the tone set that where they're coming to is Tamriel, and they're going to go on some quests, and they're going to adventure with their friends, and nobody cares about the BS the real world has dealt all day long. You get a few hours a night to forget about it. That's what we wanted.
No, that's perfect. That's a really good point. Like I said, like this was my second introduction to a community in ESO, and ESO by far was my first, and I was nervous coming back. I'm like, I just got burned. But Jibbs, you said it perfectly. It's like everybody comes in, but what everything is stops at the door, and then you can come in, but all the stuff that is in your world kind of stays outside the door per se. And that's a staple that we've held on to since taking over ourselves, and the former leads, Aaron and Dade, held on to it as well. So it's that's bang on. I like that answer. It was a good answer. Thank you.
Thank you. And Aaron
Of course.
said, "Thou shalt not teabag."
Thou
Yes,
shalt
You're right.
not
It's
teabag.
all the time.
thing.
All the time we talk
remember-
about it. But like, we don't teabag.
It
Dude, I
still
remember-
stands.
That's awesome. I remember we'd be in Discord and there would be a laundry list of names. Like you had to scroll the monitor to see how many people were in that one channel. And I think it was a Cyrodiil event. And we're like, do not teabag anybody. And I remember one person do it. I'm like, hey, bro, It's just like,
Yep. Lotto, go around here, loud dog.
Yeah.
that work around here. But anyway, it's that's cool. That's cool.
One of the comments that came through here was from the lovely Gwen the Bard, who was just with Gone Crazy in Vegas recently. So she says, let's see, I joined Loreseekers February of 2020. I heard about them when I went to the Las Vegas live event. Before that, I never used Discord or Twitch or even Twitter. I never sought out ESO news other than what showed up in my Google News feed, though I had been playing since June 10th of 2015. Very specific with the date. Basically, besides IRL friends here and there, I was playing the game solo. First started listening to the podcast on Spotify during my morning workouts. Then when the new dungeons were released, I took a leap over my social anxiety and applied. I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I actually read every guide I could find on the dungeons. Then when we started, that we never separate, said that they wanted to try without guides first, and I felt more embarrassed. Want to try it without guides first, and I felt more embarrassed over it. However, I stuck around and joined any events that popped up. 2 years later, still here, and glad to have gotten to know a bunch of you. That's awesome.
So awesome.
And she's an officer
She
on
is.
PlayStation, and she's my co-host on my other podcast that I do, Snug Podcast.
That's so awesome.
Yep.
When we were
Seeing
in
it-
Vegas, Kash, she could not stop talking about how one of the reasons that she was there was because she saw you and your personality and just kind of how kind and an electric type of person you are, which can confirm, have met you in person. Like, and that's what brought her to Loreseekers. And now look, like she's helping drive our community, and that's such a cool,
Awesome.
cool
That
thing.
warms my heart. It really
so
does.
cool.
And it's I would have never have thought that I would have gotten into content creation as much as I have. And like I don't want to be fake in anything that I do. I'm just kind of an extrovert when it comes to stuff like this. And I know that a lot of gamers tend towards introversion. And it's like if you're more introverted, if there's something that if there's something that anybody can say that can kind of bring you out of that even a little bit, like those lore runs are, they're gold, and you guys are still doing them. Folks that want to have the story of the game but don't want to get into those pug groups because they're afraid to say, hey, can we take it a little bit slower? That is an example of why Loreseekers continues to thrive, is because you take the time for those players who might be a single player and they might play solo a majority of the time, but they know on a certain night they can come in and get the story of this dungeon without having to blast through it just so somebody can try and see if they have guilt or loot drops, and then they're out.
Yeah.
And that is absolute gold when you can take somebody like that by the hand, whether you're doing it directly or inadvertently, and just say, come on, let's have fun. No need to be afraid.
That's
I
right.
love
Agreed. That's all.
I learned here with this community is whenever I'm doing a daily random normal, the first question I always ask if I'm pugging it. So doing a pickup group for those that maybe not familiar with that. And I've got 3 random people that I've never met, not part of any guilds communities. The very first question I ask is like, are you questing or are you looking to just rip through it? And if someone says that they're questing, I'm like, cool, take your time. and
That's
I'll sit in a
awesome.
corner and I'll flip a coin in the air or something like that with my character and just wait and be like, you do you. I have all the time in the world. I don't want to spoil this for you. You gotta jump in and enjoy this this story, this quest for the first time, just like everybody else has. So I
That's
learned
so
that
cool.
here, this community. So
I love that.
I love that you RP that too, because how cool is that to RP that you're just like, no, do you
you do
flipping
you.
a coin the whole time? That is
Yeah.
so freaking cool.
It's my favorite emote in the game is lean back coin flip. One of my favorites.
Yep.
It's
So
awesome.
Yep.
definitely enjoy it. Aramethius, the good old Aramethius. Everyone pretty much knows this person. So, but for those that don't, they do podcasting and lore stuff over on the PCU chapter, and they are phenomenal and a wealth of knowledge, an absolute wealth of knowledge. So if you have questions, they are someone that you can definitely reach out to and ask. I first found the Loreseekers podcast when casting around for things to listen to, and eventually as colleague competitor research when I was kicking off Unwritten in Uncertainty. I originally just listened to the lore lessons, but got tired for flicking through the rest of it and started to think the game sounded really interesting off of all the updates and dungeons. Sorry, this flow is kind of broken up for me to try to read it here. And all the updates and dungeons and so on that Jibbs and Kash were talking about. So I tried it. I was in at the ground floor when the PCEU chapter was formed, but it took me a while to start actually asking guildies for help running dungeons. I got hooked on the steady pace and lore focused content of those dungeon runs and eventually got signed up as an officer. This has often just been my place to chill in the before times. I would occasionally just hang out in voice chat simply because I knew the people who were here were awesome. This was especially the case when I had heart failure in summer 2019. When it was visitor hours, I was in the Loreseekers Discord because I knew there would be people I would chat to, although by text this time. Thank you for getting me through that somewhat trying week of hospital, Loreseekers.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Man.
Wow. Just hits you in the feels a little bit there.
yeah.
Cool. That's
Like,
cool.
I remember when that was going on and just seeing the support of people that would just pop into the chat just to say hi and hang out, just so much community support for people. And especially for him. It's just awesome.
And that's what I love about communities, and I know we've already talked about it before, but you kind of break down barriers. I've seen people talk about like getting over the anxiety, whether it's in these comments here or just in chat. And really it's true, people just kind of allowing their walls to kind of crumble a little bit and put themselves out there, and then it goes from being, just names to family, and relationships that carry on, and people, I mean, meet and do shows. For instance, you two are a spitting image of that, and just whatever it is, it just transcends gaming. And honestly, like that's the way. Like I'd have it no other way for life. That you can meet people through gaming that truly becomes family, and it carries on for years and years and years. So that's really cool.
I loved reading this in the show notes from Aramethius because he was always so very kind. And let me just throw this out there. Like, I know that we're the lore seekers, right? And that our thing was seeking lore. Aramethius will forget more Elder Scrolls lore than I would ever know.
Dude.
Like, he was incredible. I would listen to his show and just be like, oh my God, I have to wiki things that he was saying just to try
Yep.
and keep up with him because he really is he's an actual lore master. Like
Dude,
he knows so much about the stuff. It's
he would
incredible.
just like casually say things in Discord, like voice, and just off the cuff, and they're stupidly deep, layered things. And it's just like, it's like no different than, eating a hot dog to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, can you take that back? Like, give me rewind it, like the last 5 minutes, because that's probably going to be a good 45-minute show. So, I mean, like, he just just a stupid amount. He understood. I mean, if there was ever a person to like be lore master, put that dude up there to work as Oz too. 'Cause
Right.
My goodness.
Does he
He
have to eat hot dogs or?
Hey,
Well, I mean,
Well,
he could branch out to bratwurst.
could.
I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
we had burgers in Vegas. Does that count?
that sounds delicious.
it works.
Go for a party.
Arametheus and a few others actually. I don't know if they were doing it when you guys were active in the game itself. But him and a few other people do the Lore Tavern on the third Sunday of every month. Is it the third Sunday, Bacon? Did I get that
We're
right?
doing it.
Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Yeah.
It's still happening. It's
So-
still a
yeah,
thing. We
it
just
still
did one in
happens
Morrowind
to
on
this
Sunday.
day. Yeah. So
Yeah.
those of you guys that in chat that want to just get absolutely smothered in lore should definitely join in and give it a listen because it's just so absolutely just like you said, you're like, you know, this like a historian knows history.
Yeah.
And it's
And
Yeah.
that's how real the story of this game is to
Mhm.
people and how deep it is. I mean, it is as deep as like our own modern history. It's absolutely insane. If I could just Melivar had
Yeah.
said something, and hi Melivar,
Yeah.
how are you? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Lore lessons were my motivation to build up my strength after open heart surgery in February of 2020. Would only let myself listen during walks, which started at 5 minutes a few times a day to gradually 30 minutes at a time.
Oh my gosh.
See what I mean?
Yeah. dude.
Wow.
It means, like some of this stuff means things on so many different levels to people, and like that is the part that just grabs your heart.
Oh yeah. I
Thanks
still tell people, students, the use for reference, because we'll get into podcasting sections of the curriculum, and I always tell them two stories that come straight from Loreseekers. One, Cash, they were both emails. You probably remember them. One was two brothers. They were truckers, and they drove across
Brother trucker.
brother truckers. That's right. They were going across the U.S. and the way that they would connect every week was the show, and you know, like that was their meeting point, their hub, and then there's this other group which it's a grandmother with her grandkids driving in the car, and that was their family thing, was to listen to the show. And I'm just
That's
like, you
amazing.
will never know the people that will listen or where you can reach people, and it's just I love seeing that. Thank you for sharing that, Melivar. That's awesome. Goodness.
Yep. We got an email once of it was, I think it was a grandma or an aunt of somebody who was in the hospital and was injured. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
were
I remember that.
I think they were unconscious
Mm-hmm.
for a time, and they would play our show.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, like it gets me just thinking about that email.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, like, are
Yep,
you
that's a
kidding?
sucker punch.
You know?
Yeah.
Chills.
Mhm.
Yep.
You got me.
Yep.
Here's a topic. The war.
Ooh.
Yeah. Disgust.
We all need Stendar.
Oh,
Isn't
oh
that
my
the
gosh, I
truth?
haven't heard that in a while. That's good.
You need Standa.
Oh, bless.
That's
Oh
too
my
good.
gosh.
Is there any more questions?
Yeah, we've got there's a couple more. There's one that I'm gonna save for after one of these other questions here. But Hrothgar wants to know, how hard is it to move on to other things after investing so much time and even money into a game, since you guys are such, awesome gamers?
Cash, you want to take this first, or?
Yeah. Man, I will be 1,000% honest with you. It is so effing hard. It's hard. I remember making a phone call, and I don't see Max here, but I remember making a phone call to Max, who was helping us a ton when Jibbs and I decided to sunset the show. And I broke down because it is seriously that difficult when you've invested so much time. And folks might not realize, but like behind the scenes, putting a show together every week and a lore lesson and recording a lore lesson and, Jibbs with all the audio stuff and, putting together news and making sure that the notes were right. And it's a lot of freaking work. It's a lot of work. So when you have that much, when you pour that much of your heart into it, the monetarily, it really wasn't that bad. there's some hosting things you got to pay for and such, and equipment upgrades and stuff. So that's not that bad. But the hardest part was the community. Leaving the community it still is like being here, seeing those pictures. It is heart wrenching. So that never goes away. And it's been a while,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to lie. Like it is an emotional thing.
It was hard, and it was hard because we've always believed, and like behind the scenes, it was at that point the show was easy mode. It truly was. It was not hard to do the show because we just done it so long and grown so comfortable and accustomed. We knew Kash could, like, his eyeball could twitch a certain way. I know exactly where he's wanting to go. Like everyone's gelling. Doing the show itself was easy. It became full transparency. We could have kept going 100%, but kind of like the way we talked earlier, we really have, since day one, always been about pushing as hard as you could push and perfecting your craft as hard as you can and taking the punches and keep moving forward and learning and learning and learning. And so it was a place where we needed another challenge. We needed to be able to continue to push forward. And that's us. It had nothing to do with the gamer community. We really needed that. And had we kept going, the reality of it was, had we kept going, in our heart, it was, this wouldn't be right for the listener, whether they know it or not, whether they understand it or not. We can't do this just to do it, because it's our listener was always first and foremost in our minds, 100%. And we always felt like it would be disingenuous to give anything than what was being given, you know. Having it dialed up to 1,000 and it be a genuine 1,000. That's important. That everything that we would give to you would continue to be genuine. And so as a result, yeah, it was difficult to step away, because when you have a community of 1,900, I mean, we were pushing 2,000 people at that point, and you have all those people looking at you, and you're making a call that is gut wrenching, and for them, people are upset. DMs are flying. Just everything across the board, just a big blah. It was incredibly hard, and but it at the end of the day, it was probably the best call, because you guys have been able to move forward, and Aaron, and Dade, and now both of you, continuing the legacy of what was. Hey, let's start something where people can come and be family, where they can come and just have this friendship that's intertwined around ESO. And so, to answer that question, money, nah, it really wasn't the big thing. But the community, yeah, that was the hard part. That was the hard part, and still continues to be the hard part. Kash and I continue to talk about that, but that's never stopped talking. We've never stopped speaking on the ESO community, because of just the difficulty that was there with that thing. And yeah, I mean, we learned a lot, and it was hard. Yeah.
We've never stopped missing you guys at all. Like we talk about you guys all the time. And
Oh yeah.
I think the thing too for me, and don't get me wrong, none of us leaving was because of anything with the game. None of it. The game continues to be fantastic. I think the thing for me personally, when it came to covering the game, was that I played this game a lot. Like more than I probably should have. I freaking neckbearded this game for a lot of years. And it's just pushing content and, jumping into PvP and jumping into Zero and just having a blast doing that. But like, I'm not kidding you guys. If I didn't have anything else in real life going on, I was playing this game probably 6 to 8 hours a day on my day off. Sometimes at work, because I had one of those jobs where I could sneak in and play. And honestly, it was getting to be too much. So, and no, this is not a public service announcement on call your sponsor about your playing. You do you. Everybody's an adult, so you do you. But I definitely was putting a lot of time into this game. It's sitting at a target dummy for hours on end, working on my freaking on my
Jibbs
life.
just killing himself over there.
Insane, but I mean, hey, when you put that time into the game, you get good at the game. And I was starting to get pretty damn good at the game. I was liking my numbers when we were pushing content, but it got to the point to where it was like, okay, I need to realistically look at what it's how much time it's taking, to do it. So for me, it became, hey, a fresh sever is probably the safest thing to do, and we did it. And like, I don't think that I've played that much of one game since. Um, I can still marathon games. Don't get me wrong, but that was a big part for me too. Was just the fact that I truly believe that I needed to reevaluate how much time I was playing the game.
I think Rose hits it on the head when she says, "quote and always killing characters and making new ones. This is my forever character."
Yeah,
I laugh every time
Such
I hear
good
that in the
memories.
episodes.
I
This is
forgot
it.
that was
This
a
is
thing.
my only
I forgot
character.
You said that.
Still have that problem, Rose.
He really does. Oh my gosh, Rose. It's so true. Continues to be true.
It is. It's
Yep.
okay though. That's how I play.
Oh, someone said, and I'm sure the restraining order that Lyris Titanborn had nothing to do with it.
That's a huge witch.
Yeah,
That's a
you know,
huge
do you know
witch.
how many times Jibbs and I in real conversations actually say that's a huge witch, but we use the word. It still happens probably on a weekly basis. Yeah.
It really does.
The
Yes.
Elder Scroll is mine.
Scroll.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that.
I hear that probably I would probably say on the weekly, I hear that quote come out from somewhere in chat. Yeah. You talk about an Elder Scrolls and someone just throws out that quote, and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. For sure.
Oh,
So
man.
good. So good. Well, I feel like we got some more questions, but they're kind of memory questions, if you will.
Do we want to draw the torch bug?
Oh yeah, if you want to do that,
Sorry.
you can.
I just figured we've kind of put that up for a little while there, and then we can move on through there.
Last chance.
Yeah.
Exclamation
So
point.
those of you guys that are in chat, yeah, go ahead, say it, do the thing, do the announcement, Bacon.
Oh, that's it. That's all I said.
That's all you got. If you're interested in winning an OG torch bug, exclamation mark torch bug in chat to enter the draw. You guys are gonna have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6.
So nervous.
And that's it. That's the end of that one. Let's draw a winner. Congratulations to
Jibbs, you won a torch bug.
Oh my god, I would laugh.
Mirage Plays is our winner.
Rigged.
Congratulations, Mirage.
Rigged.
Congrats.
If you're in the chat, just go ahead and type out for us. If you're not, then I'm going to draw somebody else. And Mirage is, rigged, right? Isn't Mirage your close friend, Peanut? Maybe.
Hey,
Awesome.
our buddy Sam here.
Yeah,
Space
there he
Wizard.
is. Awesome. Congratulations. There's Space Wizard Tavern in there. I will DM you, Mirage, for your code for your OG Torchbug. Congrats. We do have another giveaway, but we'll start that in a little bit.
Yeah. So you want to take this, Peanut, or you want me to take it?
You were already starting it. You had your thought train rolling, and I rudely jumped on and interrupted it. So carry on.
That's all right. And you didn't. So
Thank you.
part of the fun stuff that kind of came out of the community and came out of you all doing the show is you had the reliquary. You did a full run of like RP lore story, which was so cool and has been a big inspiration for what Peanut and I have been doing currently with the show. So what kind of inspired the beginnings of the reliquary there, real quick?
Jibbs, you want to dabble?
No, you did if not all, a solid 99.9% of the writing there. So
I think what inspired that was like Jibbs and I have both had a love of writing, but we've also had this hidden romance with RP in games. And we've never fully like dived? Dova?
I don't know.
Dovin?
Dovakin? You've never Dovakinned into it?
We've never fully jumped in to RP in games and like made that our focus. But we've always really, really been super intrigued with it. So we'll write our own backstories for characters. And we'll text them back and forth, and like everybody will think we're nerds. It'll be anarchy, but we do it. So the way the reliquary started, the way the reliquary started was I just started writing. And I started sending these to Jibbs, and he's like, "Oh yeah, oh my gosh!" So then Jibbs started writing, and I think this really kind of started us on the trail of writing. I mean, Jibbs is actually writing a novel, believe it or not, in his free time, and we've just continued to write things, and it really did help us to um, bring our show to like a new level when it came to lore. Because typically our lore lessons in the early days of our show would be me just talking to Jibbs about the lore. We'd have a topic, we'd talk about it, and that's it. But they started turning into pre-recorded stories of my character on a journey in Tamriel. And that's kind of what we did with the Reliquary. We wanted to take both of our characters, bring them to life, and we actually ended up, I don't know if you guys knew this. I think a lot of you probably do remember this, but we actually wrote a quest that we put our own like Loreseeker members through. We did, it was like the setting of it was down in Alakir. And we literally ran like a player written quest line down there. And that's what the beginnings of the Reliquary became. And it was fun to be able to have that story and kind of see where it's gone, and then write the dramatized version of what we were doing. And if you look at I should actually go back and listen to those and see how far we've come with those, because when we started with those, I didn't know like levels very well. So I heard a couple stories about during those episodes where we would have that dramatized version of the story, where there'd be a sound that would go off and someone would be driving in the car and they'd be like, it was a little loud. I'm better at levels now. So we got,
oh man, I remember that.
a little bit. But, like a lot of what we're doing now, it was Space Wizards Tavern with the project that we're working on, is very much taking a story and telling it to where you feel like you're there. You're part of it. With sounds and voice acting and just all kinds of fun stuff. So really, where did the Reliquary come from? Our love of writing and our continuous drive to bring the listener right next to us in our party as part of our quest.
And to go off of that, we really felt like Tamriel deserved a better team than the B team of the Morag Tongue.
Very true. The B
Them's
team.
fighting words, Jibbs. There's so many people in chat. I'm waiting for the chat to be like,
oh, there it is.
Oh, don't slander Minari. There it is. I knew it. I knew it was going to be less than 10 seconds.
How is it that you pronounce that name, Matt? Minuit?
Minui?
Minui?
I'm kidding. He knows it.
I know.
It's not Minuit?
It's Minute Pro. It's Minute Pro.
That's okay, bro. You can always go to your Sadie Hawkins dance.
I always thought it was Minuit.
Oh man.
Well,
Minuet?
It's French.
Oh,
yeah.
well, it's a good thing I can hardly master English, let alone French.
Midnight Matt.
And we made Dwemer drops just for you.
That's right. You gotta put some marbles in your mouth, you roll them
Oh
around,
my
and then you
gosh.
try and read the words.
I should
Yeah.
have sent you those bumpers. I forgot
Ah,
we even did those things.
so good, so good. Really quick to tag onto that question, Rose Mackey in the Discord asked. So she said, since you wrote a lot of stories about your adventures, what were your favorite stories? What was the favorite story that you wrote and why?
Jibbs, you want to do this one? Or you want me to take it?
Why don't you go ahead and take that?
Okay. So the story of my warden.
So good.
Yeah, the story of my warden, and when he came to the rescue of Jibbs and Kash, who were basically caught by sea elves and almost died, like almost died. And yeah, my dude, and Dugan.
Wolven.
Dugan was the name. Dugan was the name of his bear,
Oh
of
my
my
gosh.
warden's bear.
Look
Yep.
at those
He's
polls.
Wolven and
How do you
so
Wolven
people
and
remember
Dugan.
this?
nice.
Wolven
Wolven
and Dugan.
Dugan.
Wolven and Dugan.
There's
That's
a lot
right.
of oons.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite story that we brought to life. Thought that was super, super, super fun the way that turned out.
Hmm.
I can picture it. I can picture where it happened. This is
That's
a
amazing.
true story. I would, when I was playing the game for 12 friggin' hours a day, I would take my characters to these locations so that I had the visual in my mind for when I wrote it. That is 1,000% true. So that's why even to this day, I can picture those areas of the beach where that took place. Gosh, that was so much fun. So
I'm
much
all
fun.
about that story, dude. Nice
Mhm.
poll.
Yeah, that was fun.
I liked all of them. I really didn't have a favorite, so sorry to ruin that question, but they were all great.
The whole thing was just fantastic.
I mean, it was
Totally
beginning,
not ruined.
beginning, end.
Totally not ruined.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Totally not
That's
ruined.
perfect.
Oh,
All right.
um. So, with the amount of years that you guys were doing Loreseekers with this entire community, we went through quite a few different chapters. What would you say was by far your absolute favorite chapter to date that you have played?
Somerset elsewhere.
Somerset and elsewhere?
Yeah, Somerset
Somerset.
and
Okay.
elsewhere.
1,000% Somerset.
The beauty of Somerset to this day, and I sneakily logged into ESO last week because I wanted to just.
I saw.
No, you didn't.
It said
you
6
saw
days.
nothing.
It said 6 days ago, and I clipped it and sent it to Peanut.
Oh my gosh.
I may or may not check to see when the last time each of those characters log in.
The last time you did that too, I caught you and I whispered you, and I was like, "Hello."
True
But
story. The last time,
I always keep your secret, Jibbs.
Thank you, dear.
story, the last time I logged into ESO, the first person that whispered me was Rich. Hi, stranger. I was like, oh crap.
Oh.
All right, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Jibbs. Go, go.
No, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Somerset, and elsewhere. Just beautiful, beautiful zones. I mean, from beginning to end. Elsewhere, I have so many memories of Elsewhere because that to me was like right at the really height of Loreseekers. The community, the dragons. I remember I left work early, and so I could go home and play games with Cash. And so we logged in, and I remember his expression when he saw the dragon turn its head for the first time in Elsewhere.
Yep.
And there were obscenities thrown that I cannot say on this show, but needless to say, it was just
Yeah.
hilarious.
It
And,
started with a holy
Yep.
and another word
Lot
that's worse than the word you're thinking.
Mm.
That's what came out of my mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just an experience. I mean, necromancers, we had talked about that in the show for so long, and so we're both diving into necros together, and just gosh, the memories. You forget about all this stuff until you read the chat and the stuff Dugan. Like I forgot all about that. I mean, just Gosh. So yeah.
Jibbs, I want to tell the story about how the necromancer was revealed to you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. That was awesome.
So, ZeniMax had asked for one of us to be on stream, and it was when they did the reveal of the necromancer and that particular chapter. And so Jibbs was on Twitch when they did this, and we got invited out to San Francisco to where Twitch is for the recording of that. And I remember I was just I was tagging along because they had asked Jibbs, so I was just like, hey, can I go? And they're like, oh yeah, come on up. So I ended up going, and I was like kind of off, in the shadows a little bit, watching everything. And the night before, we had all gone to dinner with Gina and Jess and Rich and some of the dev team. And they said, hey, right afterwards, we're going to talk about some of the stuff for the show tomorrow, and we will show you the necromancer. And I went, excuse me, what? So I ended up saying, I'll tell you what. And this whole thing took place in Rich's hotel room. I said, I'm going to go get you guys drinks. I'm going to wait. I'm going to go away because I'm going to wait for the reveal to find out about all this stuff. And I did that. So I went downstairs to go get drinks, brought drinks back up to everybody. And when I walked back in the room, Rich had his laptop up, and it was you and Ninja 614. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And the look on both of their faces was like that. Holy,
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever forget that. And then Rich was like, do you want to see it? And I was like, no, sir, I'm going to wait. Thank you. Here's a drink.
Here's the drink. Close the laptop.
That's a true story. It was super cool the way that whole thing went down.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's
Mhm.
good. You forget all about
Bacon,
this stuff.
Yeah.
let's stretch this one out to yourself as well, and then I'll answer after you. What would you say to date is your favorite chapter?
Ooh,
You didn't have time to prepare for this question.
I didn't. Um, honestly, one of my favorite quest chains is Somerset. That is a fantastic, fantastic quest chain in that zone. But from a standpoint of it kind of took my breath away for a second, if I'm being completely honest, Blackwood.
Hmm.
I remember, and it's funny because this was actually with you, Cash. There was one of the first times that I logged into the game, and I was running, and I came out of Leowin. Well, first of all, Leowin itself. I messaged Jibbs about this one. It's funny. I messaged both of you about two different things. So, Jibbs, I messaged you because I was standing in Leowin and I heard the bells chime from the chapel,
Mhm.
and I was like, because the sound was just so immersive and so
Mhm.
good in Leowin that I was like, please tell me you've heard these. Please tell me you've heard this. And I remember your response. And it was like, yeah, me too. Like just the same sort of excitement. That was literally, literally
We're
what
getting
I
real excited over some
remember.
church bells.
Oh no, I mean,
Amazing.
it was all the ambient noise and just kind of how well balanced it was, right? It was
Yeah.
so nice. And then I messaged Cash because I ran out of Leowin and I came down and you come kind of over that marshy area, and it had just turned to night in the game, and there were all of these torch bugs and like fireflies and just like very beautiful, natural, immersive thing to see. And I remember messaging you and I was like, holy beep, this is really beautiful. And you're like, I know, isn't it so good? And it was because, like, that's what I pictured both of you. Like, I automatically went to Jibbs for audio and automatically went to you for like immersion and like just the beauty of the game itself. So I would say for me, honestly, it's right now, just from that sort of experience, it's probably Blackwood and Somerset. But I have not finished everything. I'm not fully caught up. I also really enjoy the way that Galen looks.
Mhm.
So that was that last portion of that last DLC that was released. So
Well, Blackwood's the reason I fell in love with Argonians.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
So good.
The more
Drum.
insulting their native homelands, calling it the cesspool of.
Cashew the Blackfin's a badass.
Cashew is
Oh, man.
absolutely a badass.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I have a
Peanut.
question: Is the
Yeah.
Loreseeker NPC still there?
She sure is. She's in
Ah, so
Solitude.
cool.
I
Yep.
go and see her from time to time. There was actually a screen cap of her in the original, like the intro reel that we did for the show tonight.
That's
Yep.
so cool.
Hands down, coolest thing that has ever happened to me as a content creator
Yeah.
was that. And Rich never did quite confirm that.
He didn't. He kept
Very
hush
cryptic
hush the whole time.
We directly asked him, but he
Yeah.
didn't deny it either.
I definitely just see this picture of Rich running into the room where they're developing the game and just changing the character name to the Loreseeker character name. It's in the back of my
I'll
head.
never
Just
for-
like, yeah, secretly did it. No one knew until it went to final. They're like, well, it's there now.
So
I'll never
cool.
forget
Oh.
that when it was posted in Discord.
Yeah.
Dudes, and we were at work. I mean, we hadn't even seen it yet, and yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
So
cool.
good.
Freaked us out.
She's still there. Peanut, what's your favorite?
On the note of our wonderful friend, the Loreseeker, I can't remember what is the actual name of the character.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Is that right?
I think
Colgier? Colgier?
Colgier.
Mjolnir?
Colgier, because like
Colgier.
Mjolnir is
Colgier?
like Thor's hammer.
Oh, that's
Thor's hammer.
That's Thor's hammer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Colgier.
she.
Yeah.
She's
Colgier.
mighty.
Sorry.
Uh,
Sorry, I had to ban someone earlier. I have hammer on the brain.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Oh
Colgier,
man.
Colgier Loreseeker. That's what it is.
Colgier Loreseeker, yeah. I would say so. My very first introduction to an Elder Scrolls game was Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim was my very first game that I ever played that was Elder Scrolls in nature. So being able to go back to Solitude, going back to the Dragon's Bridge, and I remember the first thing I did is I went to Solitude. I looked at Solitude, and I was like, this is awesome. It's exactly how I remember it when I played Skyrim. And then the next thing I did was I ran across the map because I had no way shrines at the time. I ran all the way across the map to Dragon's Bridge, and I stood at Dragon's Bridge, and I was just like, holy crap. There is a bridge that I have not seen in a very long time, and it was amazing to see it. It took me probably about a good 45 minutes because of all those stupid wolves that wanted to attack me and the trolls that wanted to throw things at me, but I made it, and I do remember specifically that being a big part of it. Was like, I need to get Dragons, which I need to see this place. Like going through the nostalgia pipe of going back and looking at all the different areas like Morthal and Garthwaste, and getting into Blackreach was absolutely fantastic. I remember Blackreach being 10 times worse when it was in Skyrim, and then you get into Blackreach in ESO, and it's just like this giant big cavern. You're like, yep, this place is cool. So you walk around that corner, you see the crystal formation and just the big blue glowing ceiling across it. It's just like, oh yes. And then also I have to say I love pirates. I love everything sailing. So High Isle, that's especially the main, which is slipping my mind right now, but the main hub of High Isle has been absolutely fantastic. It's a port town, and it's pirate and sailing and everything that I love. I'm like, yes. So absolutely well done on that part there. So those are probably two of my favorites so far.
So good.
But
So
you can have
great.
a boat home?
Yeah.
Soon?
In the new chapter, there's going to be a moving boat home.
I've already allocated the crowns so I could purchase it. It's
Jibbs,
going to be
I'm so sorry.
exciting.
So sorry to tell you that.
Anytime you want to, come hang out, absolutely. You can come hang out at my boathouse.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm
Only
not
took
gonna
him
lie.
9 years.
Okay.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I'm not gonna lie, but I've watched a few videos.
So
You never truly leave.
Yeah,
It's true. It's
very-
like
It's
podcasting, you
so
never
true.
Always carry a piece of it with you.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
So true. So true. Okay, let's get back to some memory stuff really quick.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to jump right into Jamarn's comment here because, Jamarn has been a staple member of Loreseekers community for a long time. If I'm not correct, he is one of the people that helped build the guild hall and a bunch of pieces.
Yep.
That person is so absolutely creative. So Jamar Massett had mentioned in the Moments channel, I decided to try ESO for the first time right as Mid-Year Mayhem was starting. Jamar, if you're in the chat, sorry, Mid-Year Mayhem, 0, crazy. So my tiny little level 20-something character is running around with what seems like the whole guild in Cyrodiil. Every once in a while, we would go into a delve and get a buff and usually take a quick bio break. So everyone's laughing and joking and waiting around to begin again. And I decide to read one of the lore books out loud. I remember this. I have pretty good reading voice, and everyone really enjoyed listening to me read it. So they started making me do it whenever we would stop in a delve. About the 4th time this happens, I finish reading the book, look up, and realize the entire guild has left the delve without me, and I was abandoned, scared, confused in the dark with a cave full of bears on my 4th day playing ESO. Luckily, my terrifying screams seemed to confuse the bears, and I was able to run, arms flailing wildly for the exit, and managed to survive. The moral of the story is not to read anything they ask you out loud in a cave full of bears because they will leave you there. I remember that.
I think that was one of the first times I ran PvP on PC was when this story happened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That
man.
is a
I think I remember that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
I love that,
That's
like,
good.
the first 4 days into the game and they're doing Mid-Year Mayhem. Like, what a time to jump into the game for the very first time. So,
Yep, I think that year we emped 36 people.
I think that was the
Nice.
year, yeah. Yeah, 100%, you're right. So one of
Yep.
our biggest emping trains that we'd ever done. That was awesome.
Yep. If Loreseekers wasn't on the map, it was that
It
year.
was.
that's
Yep.
right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. We're hoping to get some people this year for this this session. K6 has kind of been working with that. So
Awesome. So cool. That's good to see that continues. That's really
Yep.
cool.
So
So
one of the questions we had here as well was your favorite moment in the game or something you accomplished during your time with Loreseekers. I'm going to shift that a little bit and I'm going to change that. What was one of your absolute favorite in-game accomplishments that each of you had achieved?
Emp. I
Emp.
never ever thought that I would get. I'm a PvE player, so I never thought Emp would be a thing that I would be able to get, and I would not have been able to get it if it wasn't for the Loreseekers. Seriously, everybody was super gracious, and I just grinded and got it.
That's
I remember
awesome.
that. That was incredibly special. Yeah, that was cool. I think for me it was on stream. Katie and I were talking about it beforehand. Completing solo. Oh gosh, man, moment, Katie. What's it called?
Vet Maelstrom.
Thank you. Vet Maelstrom on stream, and I think that's where the tradition Thunderstruck started with AC/DC and trying to beat the final boss, and it finally happened. And I had one of those. It's really weird feeling, like one of those you don't have them very often, but one of those moments like when you're in gaming, it could be any game, but you finally accomplish that one thing, and it just feels like the room just like lights up and goes ecstatic, and everyone in chat was just blowing up. It was such a fun moment shared by so many people that made it so special and cool. And yeah, that was cool. I like that one.
That's like a standout for me too, because I remember I'm just like sitting glued to my screen, like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And I think I stood up and full on like cheered when you did it. Not that anyone could hear it but me.
Oh,
I was like, "Ah!"
oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. It was so cool because I remember like I die and everyone just be like, "Oh no, come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it." Everyone wanted you to succeed, and it was just such a fun community moment. That was cool.
Yeah, so cool, and to have everybody there, just really, really cool.
Agreed.
Yep. I remember that text message. I wasn't able to watch it because I was at work, but I remember you sending me that text message. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and Matt said The second for me is probably the Fang Layer Worm Wizard personality. That's something that I wanted pretty bad. And when I got that, I think we were in there. I think we were in there for 7 or 8 hours.
Oh my god.
Just
I
going
remember that.
the last boss over and over all day long, and we finally freaking got it.
That's so
That was
cool.
nuts. God, I'm such a nerd. 7 or
Dude.
8 hours.
That's
Kash,
a long time, dude.
one of
No,
my favorite ESO memories with you, Cash, is similar, and it was us being stuck in freaking Moongrave Fane till 4:30 in the morning for me
Oh,
because we had
God.
3 DPS and a tank, and we
Yep.
still didn't finish it. And do you know that to this day that quest is still in my quest log?
Oh,
I
wow.
have I
Oh,
have
yeah, because we
not
tried that recently, didn't
I
we?
have yeah, Max and Geek have resolved to help me finish it with Peanut because we started it. I started it with you and Max, and I can't remember who the third DPS was, but I was way under leveled. I mean, like low CP, and you're like, "Yeah, let's go."
So
It's
Max couldn't do
4:30
it
in the
back
morning.
then, and then Max is still having a hard time doing it with you now?
Yeah, it's not because of Max's tanking though.
Max?
Be honest.
No.
Max is a god tank. It's not Max's tanking.
He's one of the best tanks I've ever run with. Seriously. He's amazing.
Oh my
Gosh.
god.
Oh, man.
So good.
So we have talked a ton about the game and the community and all great things. But a few questions that came to us are a little bit more external. So some of the questions that came to us were in regards to content creation and potential future podcasters. So one of them was, what is the best advice you have for someone who's looking to start a community in any game?
Oh. I'm going to let the best community manager that's never been an official community manager answer that question.
I would say, like we had talked about before, lead with a foundation of kindness, and you
Mm.
got to be willing to take the good with the bad. Because no matter how good things start, the bad will get there. And the bad can come in all different types of ways. It could come in the way of just luck with the game. It could come in the way of actual people.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things to understand is that not everybody will fall in line with the ideals or the foundations of your guild, and they will push the limits on you. You have to have the things in place to be able to remedy that and be able to draw a line, and furthermore have the cojones to follow through with it. That is one thing. At one point during Loreseekers, we had an issue with something like that, and we severed ties with several people because they pushed the limit. And you know what? Look at this community now. For us having gone through that muddy water way back then, look at the community now and how it continues to thrive because we've kept those same principles alive. And it's as simple as we don't teabag here.
Yeah.
You know? Hi, Caddy.
And I would also
Kyle.
piggy. Hey, I know your face. Good to see you, Caddy. I would like to piggyback off that too. There is something that we always joked about it being very much a living document, but it is absolutely every bit of 10 years old, and that's COC. Having a solid COC that not only the members abide by, but also staff abides by. You know, that everyone is under that same loop, you know, that same place. Is really important as well. And that's something that you don't deviate from. It's something that you honor yourself as a leader, as a founder. And that's something that you also look out for the members for, you know, whether there may be bullying or whatever it could be that you see.
Yep.
Yeah.
So some good answers. I like
Mhm.
that. One final for this topic here, and then we're going to move ourselves on to some rapid fire questions as we get near the end of our stream here. Best advice that you could give someone who is looking to get into podcasting and content creation? Jibbs, I know you're going to love this one.
Woo. Oh man,
You got
oh,
the
shivers go
chills.
down my spine.
He
Ooh,
said,
talking-
"Ooh, say it again.
Someone's
Say it
talking
Say it
dirty to
again.
me. I love this question. I love it so much. If there's anything I'm passionate about, I'm finding now in my later years of 30, 34, of being passionate about teaching people, coaching people how to podcast. So it can be like how to get started, whatever you want to do. The best advice I could give you would just be jump in and just start devouring things, whether it's YouTube or a favorite podcast. I'll use I mentioned Mike and Mike in the morning earlier. That was how I started. We didn't have Twitch back then. We had some shows that we liked around some games that we cared about, and there was YouTube and TV. So find something that you really resonates with you. Pay attention to how things are being done and let it teach you. Granted, there's also a million different YouTube guides out there, that you can get involved in and get invested in. And I think when you jump in, first off, if you're interested, congrats, because you've been bitten by the bug. And that bite never heals.
It's
You
a real
never
thing.
stop casting. You never walk away from it. Yeah, see, I mean,
Why you do this to us?
Why you do this? It spreads. It's like a disease. Here, everyone have it. But
everybody
the
should
knot
make
and flu.
podcasts.
Podcast not in flu.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that thing. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I'll say the first step, because it's going to be the first step that eventually, when I start coaching, I want to talk about, and that is start concepting what you want to do. What's the show name? What's it about? What's the IP that you're surrounding this around? Do you want to have a community? Just start writing down things on scratch paper and figuring things out. And then from there, start working on show notes, figuring out, and they don't have to be long. They can be short, but just get used to, what does this look like on paper? What does that look like? And then start recording. That's the fun part. Katie knows all about that. I remember when she first sent her stuff over to me. It's just start doing it. And I will say this about podcasting. I love the craft and I respect the craft so much that you'll have failures. You'll have a lot of failures, but you'll have successes as well. And when your successes come, they will come in a big way. It may be as much as, you breaking that 100 listener mark in 1 week, or 500 or 1,000, whatever it is. You may have a community like this. It just takes off in its own and continues. It can look like 1,000 different things, but I can say this: you will absolutely succeed. And the best part about this, truthfully, and I think this is like the nail on the head. And then I'm done rambling. I'm sorry.
You're good.
It's that lead. Always remember this: you'll never know the people you'll reach. You'll never know how you can change someone's life, how you can be there for them, whether they're in the shower, maybe they had an awful day, but you're there. Or maybe they're trying to go to sleep, but you're there. You're there calming them down through your show. You can, I don't know another word someone's going to use it. You can minister to people in so many different ways, on so many different levels, and be that person. Go be that person. Go make someone feel great. Go be excited. Go make them feel great and make them excited, make them passionate about something they care about. I mean, whatever it is, however you create your content, just get out there and start doing it, and just dedicate yourself to the process. That's what I want to end on. Dedicate yourself to that process, because I promise you, it will absolutely pay off. Sorry for my ramble.
No, that was good.
So
That was well said.
House, bro.
Inspiring.
So good.
Kash, is there anything you wanted to add?
I would just add on to that, and just is a couple of very simple things for me, is that if you're going to do it, two things: you have to love what you're talking about. You have to commit to doing it right. And then why are you laughing?
Shit, dude. I mentioned the shower. Okay, I'm now going to the shower in my swim trunks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Podcasting from the shower. This is Shower Talks.
Oh my God.
It's a new
I would
Now I
segment.
know what you guys felt like when we used to try and break you.
It doesn't take much.
I would say as a last thing, if you're thinking of getting into podcasting, don't be nervous because you're just talking to the person on the other side of the mic. That's it. You just have to be who you are and talk about the thing that you love. That's it.
Bingo.
That's perfect
Best-
advice right there.
Best advice ever.
Just talk about what you love because, yeah.
Yep.
Well said. Well said. Jump into some rapid fire questions here. We got a couple for you, and then that'll probably come down to near the end there. You guys are still awake, alive?
Thanks
Oh,
for
yeah.
being here for so
yeah.
long, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Just a huge shout out for chat. Before we start the rapid fire questions, do we want to start our final
Yes.
giveaway and give people that opportunity?
Do it
Awesome.
now.
So, our last part of our giveaway, so we gave away a torch bug earlier. Congrats to Mirage Place who won that one. The next part is the big one. We have one copy of Necrom, an upgrade copy of Necrom available in our giveaway tonight.
snap.
So, and that is
Can I enter?
no,
I'm just
Bacon. You
kidding.
can't enter. Really? Did you just ask that question? Seriously?
Yes.
Okay. It is open to all platforms. So PlayStation, Xbox, PC. You guys are all open to join in. The call code for it is going to be !Mora. It's not open yet. I don't want to see who's in chat yet. To our winner, you do have to be present in chat to claim it, or I will draw another person. I am now opening it in 3, 2, 1, and !Mora in chat, please, for a chance to win. No, not !Tentacles, Matt. Is that an ode to my tentacle screen overlay that I tried to do that just looked really creepy? Cool. So we'll leave that running, and then just before we go close up for the night, we will do the draw for that. So, Bacon, did you want to start us off with some rapid fire questions?
Oh, sure. Okay. Here we go. If you could sit in a room and have a one-on-one convo with any game dev, not necessarily ESO, who would it be?
Because I know he's also a game dev and author, Drew Carperson.
For those that don't know, could you tell us who that is?
Oh, I'm so sorry. He
Everyone was
wrote.
like, okay.
He was part of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Wrote the Jedi storyline also, but it was the whole Revan. So the olden days, the Old Republic RPG, and he wrote, all kinds of books now at this point. But yeah,
Fun fact: we did sit down in a room with him and talk to him.
oh my gosh, we did.
What?
How did
Jibbs?
you- How did you
2015.
get that?
Oh.
Our old show, Sonny's in the room. He'll probably remember this.
Forgot all about that.
Level Up Morning Show. We actually interviewed Drew Carpation on that show.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Yep.
Well, maybe he
Space
wants to
Wizards
talk to him
Tavern
again.
says Sid Meier.
Like from
Sid
Civilization.
Meier would be pretty cool. Yep. The Civ dude. Did
would be
you
cool.
say not necessarily ESO?
You can do either.
Give me
You
anybody.
can do whatever.
Then it's very easy for me. If non-ESO, it would be nobody in particular, but somebody on the dev team for Star Wars Galaxies, because that is one of my favorite games of all time. You guys all know that. But honestly, and not to be blasé or cheesy, but Rich. Like Rich is not, he's not just a really, really good, talented game dev. He's just a really effing nice guy. And I
Yeah,
kind
he
of
is.
So yeah, honestly, Rich is such a good dude just to be around and have drinks with and shoot the shiz.
When we were in Vegas, he was playing pool and he was playing with Finn, and I was laughing because I walked up and I said, "Hey, Rich, how you doing?" And he goes, "Better now that I have a beer."
Yep. And you know what's
That's awesome.
It
funny?
was so awesome.
What's awesome about that dev team is I was like walking around trying to feed them whiskey before the show, and they're like, "Nope, not until after. Nope, not." They were
Oh,
so.
I remember that.
And
Especially
afterwards,
Gina, because she said she was a
Yeah.
lovely.
So disciplined.
Oh yeah.
no, very, very
Gosh, I miss them.
folks. Yep.
Good people, man.
Yep.
Man, good people.
So good. You want to just go back and forth, Peanut?
Let's go back and forth. Yeah. Question number
Okay.
2 is top of your head, favorite video game of all time.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Wow.
Wow, really? That was your
No,
choice?
no, no. No, it's not my favorite of all time. Cash, do you have one?
Okay. Throw it out in chat. What's my favorite video game of all time?
Galaxies, Star Wars Galaxies.
Done.
I was going to say
Hubert.
Pong, but
Hubert.
Matt, Tabula Rasa, Rose, that's a great fan. That was a fantastic game. I love Tabula Rasa.
I
Richard
think
Curie, right?
Oh.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I'm sorry. I had a moment and I just started talking all over you. KOTOR would be probably a good choice, but I'm gonna go with Fable. Just the Fable 1 and 2. Like those.
you are speaking my language.
That whimsical fantasy still resonates with me to this day, and I can't wait for Fable 4.
You and me both.
Is
Yeah.
that actually coming out, or is that like the Duke Nukem of 2023?
You know what? Don't talk about it like that. Okay?
Yeah,
Sorry?
I'm hopeful.
Why do you gotta be like that?
That's on my bad. That's on my bad.
Wax that stash.
No, you're not.
just trim
Well,
those
You're gonna have
tips.
Boy, you're gonna have
Just
to
the
drive
tip.
pretty far to be able to do that.
Yeah, come on over.
Oh man.
You better get on a plane tonight.
I was just
Oh,
hanging out with
goodness.
Cash in September last year.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yes, it was.
Random fact of the day.
I know. It's a good
Well,
time.
we had on here, "What are you drinking?" But I think we already know because we ordered with the barmaid. So,
I don't think I ever got my drink.
what's your favorite thing you're drinking currently? Say that.
There you go.
Are we still into the peanut butter whiskey? Right? Is that what it was?
No, I've moved on from that. I've moved away from sweet whiskeys to now I'm doing LaCroix flavored water and vodka.
Keeping
I'm just
it light.
Trying what that world is like. I'm new at that. I'm a rookie, but it's working quite well.
Very low carb.
It
Give you
is.
that.
Vodka sodas are great. You just keep adding more soda. The more vodka less vodka, more soda. Keep the party
Yeah.
going all night long.
There you go.
I've actually added one time. You guys know I like my bourbon barrel stouts and bourbon, but I've actually added craft tequila to the list.
Oh, craft tequila.
Oh,
Craft tequila, not
very fancy.
not shit tequila, good tequila. It's fantastic.
So is craft tequila like similar to craft beers, like they're private distilleries, or
Correct.
Cool.
Correct.
I
Yeah,
didn't even know
like
that was
if
a thing.
you a good clear like añejo type tequila, you can get them at Costco. I mean, if you have a Costco near you, they have craft tequila. Just try it. It is so much different than like a standard Jose Cuervo.
Yeah.
It's like your high-end Patrons. It's like that,
Okay.
but it's so smooth and so good. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Nice.
That's awesome. And it wouldn't be a Loreseekers live episode in any sense if we did not ask the most important question of all. What is the best color of Crocs?
Oh, bro. Easy mode. You're talking neon green. Like
I
vibrant.
thought I was actually expecting you to lift your
Destruction
foot
neon
up right there.
I mean, like so neon green when you walk in, people's eyes bleed neon green. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're
Oh,
adorable.
Wow.
I disagree with you. It's
Oh,
black.
Because Spec Ops black. Is that why? Yeah, you're so cool with your
These
black.
are called Tacticrocs, and you can suck it.
Tacticrocs.
These are Tacticrocs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're so cool.
Can
Just in
can
case
we
you
just
you put it in sport mode, and off you go.
Is that
And
after it hits 88 miles an hour?
this is the way. This is the way. It's actually Bobo.
We have to go back to the future.
Oh
Jibbs.
man.
Oh, great Scott!
Guys,
Oh.
we all know it's purple.
Oh, look there! There you go. See?
Oh, there is a somebody asked for something. So who said that you need to have headlights for your
Oh,
crop?
No.
Device.
Oh
Got 'em.
my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
Croc lights. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Seizure-inducing lights on the front of your tactical Crocs. That's great.
Turn it off.
Solid choice.
Hurt your eyes.
Can we just rewind here? I believe there was some differences that were spoken between both you and Jibbs, Cash,
Yeah.
in regards to the fashion points on Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that I told him that he was a member of some type of a subculture for having that.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these years.
My wife and daughter changed my mind this last Christmas when I received not one, but 2 pairs of Crocs, not just Crocs. I didn't get just 2 Crocs. I got 2 pairs of Crocs. And these are my home ones because they have the fluffy on the inside.
Got your foofy.
I have my work.
They make your feet nice and soft.
Yeah, foofy.
Down
Tacticrocs.
full pair of shoes that I've ever had.
Oh,
I do not wear
man.
them out though, and my 2 reasons. One, my daughter said you disowned if you wear your Crocs out. No problem. And 2, you got to be ready for everything. And these are not tactically sound when you're out and about in the real world. So there you go. Hmm.
Okay.
Weird.
All right.
Real things.
How things have changed,
Mm-hmm.
Have
Yeah.
changed.
but also
This is
they
the crap.
haven't.
I've gotten older and
Peanut,
dumber.
this is the crap. Yeah.
So I guess Bacon, that means you and I are gonna have to probably get Crocs at some point.
I'm wearing them right now.
Oh god. Okay. Well, I'm wearing a pair of slippers, so
I held up my
halfway
purple
there.
Crocs in the camera.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
I thought those were your. Thought those were your Liam's.
so
Those
No,
are
I have
yours.
Those are
small
tiny.
feet.
You have tiny
Oh.
feet.
I'm a real life Bosmer.
I am so sorry.
Oh man.
Oh goodness. Well,
Tiny
I legit
Crocs.
thought those were your sons. I'm so sorry. Oh goodness.
Nope.
Wow.
Those are mine. I am
Alright.
very
Oh my
small.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well,
that was great.
Goodness.
Did
great.
you, Bacon, did you have a final question for the rapid fire? One lined up?
The only other one that I had was one that came to us from Discord, and it just
'Kay.
said, I'm curious if they are considering covering Starfield or if they're going to stick to more co op stuff in the future because of patterns of what you've done previously. And someone else said, my, that would be interesting to know.
Who said that?
That would be Aaron and Matt.
Aaron, I still love your profile picture. I love that show. Well done.
You can plead the fifth. It's okay.
We were okay. I can say this. We were going to do a Starfield show. We had it ready. Everything, graphic, visual.
Wow.
We were working through audio designs. Everything was because we thought we'd do something different, and that was a single player, which is also very scary for us because, like you say, very much a multiplayer show experience. But we were going to do that, and we ended up pulling out the last minute, and we are working on a long-term project. Don't know when that's going to come to fruition, but it's a long-term project, and we are taking our sweet time and smoking that thing like some barbecue ribs. So when it's ready, it's ready.
Nom
Are we
nom.
keeping that tight-lipped and under wraps, or is there anything you could possibly tease at chat?
you
Not to
pressure-
put you on the
don't
spot.
don't you pressure them.
I think if I
You
teased
don't
it,
pressure them.
it would lessen it. So I don't
Lessen
think
the impact.
it would. Yeah, and it's something to us that just feels like everyone can enjoy, and so we're excited about it. But I don't want to
Respect.
give anything away. And I mean, we love casting, we love community. I mean, once you have it, you never stop. So
Mhm.
there'll always be more stuff. No, there's no World of Warcraft podcast, Draylon. Dre
They're
Lion.
designing their own immersive RP game. That's what it is.
Oh, that would be bad.
I will. I'll take it a step further than what Jib said without giving anything
Okay.
away. But, you can see Sonny kicking up and with Space with Seven in the,
Oh my
chat right now.
God.
He's going nuts. I will say this. It is a very slow burn project, and we're all three of us, Sonny, Jibbs, and myself, are very excited about it, about the project. If and when all of the planets align perfectly, this will be the biggest thing that we've ever done.
Oh,
That is
gosh, yeah.
amazing. Wow.
Can we give him a genre? Let's give him
No.
a genre of gaming. No,
Nope.
just a taste, just the tip. Okay.
Just the tip. It's
You know, it
the
just turned.
second time we've used that this call tonight.
Oh boy. 60% of the time it works.
It works every time.
They don't know, but that whole GIF line that we had going this morning, I just
Oh
want
my
you to know, I was laughing way too hard at prison. That was hilarious.
I was trying to contain myself.
Oh man.
I was laughing at 5-year-old people walking by. What's wrong with you?
So good. Well, thank you for answering all of the questions that came out of nowhere in Discord and in chat, because those are always fun. But we put you on the spot for a few of them. But then the surprise question, Peanut. This one's yours.
Oh.
Do you remember what it even is?
No, I don't remember what the surprise. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the surprise question is.
It's about Star Wars.
I like
favorite Star Wars character, or favorite 2 Star Wars characters, actually.
Thank you. There you go.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
favorite Star
Go
Wars
ahead,
character and favorite.
This is a 2-part question. So favorite 2 Star Wars characters.
Are you waiting?
That's it. Yeah, you go ahead, light side nerd.
Yeah. Duh. I'm gonna have to say Obi-Wan and early Boba Fett.
Ooh,
Probably 2 of my favorite characters.
good, Paul.
Do I have to give reasons why?
Jibbs?
Okay.
Hold that
No, you
thought.
don't.
Hold that thought.
I'm gonna go with Darth Revan and Darth Malgus.
Oh,
I do remember part 2 to this question.
Such a good pull.
Darth Revan and Darth
Malgus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you have to kill one of those people off.
Oh,
and why?
What the? Okay.
This is a Peanut question, and he didn't even.
This was me.
It.
This was me. I didn't even remember it, but then I remembered it after the fact. But yes, that was the second half of it.
Oh man.
That's
okay.
That's sick.
Can,
How could
can
you
I
make
go
me
ahead of you?
choose?
Because you got to. Are you figuring it out? Or are you good? You go.
Oh, I'm good, homie. You go.
Go. Oh, you go. Go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna say kill Darth Revan off because Malgus was way more in on the dark side.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's gonna have to be Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan lives a good life, my homie.
Rip.
He lives a good life, and he is not as complex of a character to me as Boba Fett is. Boba Fett survived the freaking Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, nice pull.
Yes, and he lives into his fat years, bro. That's fantastic. So
if you could be a bounty
impressive for
hunter that
Star
lives to your
Wars.
fat years, that's
yeah. He lives right into his fat years, and I just absolutely love him, and I always will. So, as much as I love the light side, there's so much more mystery to Boba Fett, and he's back behind me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
show them that. They haven't seen that.
I haven't seen the Boba.
Oh, it's more.
I've seen Han. I've seen Carbonite Han.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
He lights up.
Projects I've done since Loreseekers. This is. Anyway, it's my favorite decoration.
You can confirm it looks really cool in person when it's lit up. It looks like the movie.
Oh, so good.
It is so cool.
giant Kash hand fixing his camera.
It's absolutely fantastic. Well, it is that time again.
Oh,
And an ode to the way we've always done it with the Bannered Mare. Thank you very much, both Jibbs and Kash, for hanging out with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you two live with us today, and there is no other way that we could have celebrated our 5-year anniversary without the founders of this community being here and chatting with us and just throwing back to the way it all started. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening and being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys very much. Very special. I've fought back tears on 2 or 3 occasions.
That's perfect.
sorry.
See where the community is, and it continues to thrive, and you guys are carrying the torch, and awesome.
No, thank
We
you.
could not do it without the amazing founding that you set up and the amazing officers that, you know, some of them are people you guys picked, and they're still there. They're still
Yeah.
helping us carry the Discord and carry the community. So it means a lot. It means a lot.
Absolutely. And, you know, being this a 5-year celebration of the community, we also need to mention and shout out 2 of our previous GMs that kept the community, going through some pretty tough times going on in the world. Dade and Aaron Cobra. Aaron, you're in chat right now. You two have left a lasting imprint of just what this community stands for. So thank you, both of you, for keeping this afloat, and Aaron for kind of passing the torch on to both Gone Crazy Back Soon and myself, which has been huge. So thank you, both of you. Did someone gonna say something? No, I was saying, no, neither do I, realistically.
Oh, so good.
Jibbs, where can we find you on the socials?
I lurk more than post, but you can find me on Twitter at JibbsIRL.
And Kash?
My Twitter is still alive, but I'm not on Twitter very much. I'm more on Instagram, but you can find me on both at Cash Quests.
And where can we find Wild Space?
Oh,
Very, very
I'm gonna be
right.
completely honest with you. I don't remember the username.
Hold on, I'll get you.
It's
man.
Wild Space HQ.
There it is.
Wild Space HQ
Tomato,
on
tomato.
Twitter and Twitch.
Yes, and if you're interested in it's basically a D&D style Star Wars podcast that we've dramatized, Sunny and Jibbs and I, and it really is a lot of fun to bring the listener right into what we're doing, and you hear dice rolls and everything, but there's sounds and ambience and blaster fire, and it is a freaking ton of fun to listen to. I still listen to our shows, even though, you know, we produce them, but it's really a lot of fun if you're into Star Wars.
That's fantastic. You can find myself on Twitter at Toasted Peanut, and also on Twitch at Toasted Peanut, spelt just like it is. The E is a 3 instead in Peanut. Gone Crazy Back Soon, where can we find you on those socials?
You can find me on Twitter. This is the only one that's different. You can find me at Katie Stunt Show. There's a backstory to that. Maybe one day I'll share it. Mostly it's that I'm klutzy. And that's true. It's mostly that I'm klutzy. You can also find me on Discord at Gone Crazy Back SN or the PlayStation Network due to character limits. Sad day, womp womp. And when I am not here with the Loreseekers ESO on Twitch, I can be found at the Snug Podcast with some of our wonderful people from over there as well on the PlayStation side of things, talking every Sunday from the comforts of the Snug Pod.
That is fantastic. And then for those of you guys that are listening through the podcasting apps, you can find us on pretty much all of your favorite podcasting, Google, Apple Podcasts, and there's just so much going on right now. This is crazy. Yes, you can find us. It really is. You can find us on the podcasting sites, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And you can watch us live on Twitch when we do our live episodes at the Loreseekers ESO is our Twitch handle, and that's where we are, just where we are right now. You can hang out with us in chat. And without further ado,
Wait.
thank you everyone for being here. You guys have been absolutely fantastic.
Wait.
Hanging on.
Did you tell them how to join Discord? Did I miss that?
No, yeah. Did you want to talk?
If you'd like to come join the guild and be a part of this awesome, amazing community, you can do discord.gg/the Loreseekers ESO, or visit us at loreseekers.club and join our communities that way.
There you go.
So I've been paying attention a little bit to your guys' little story you've been going on. You've had going on. Did you happen to find the hidden stuff under the bar?
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this. So then you have been in the study then.
That's the room with the desk, yeah?
Yeah, but
chairs.
You didn't happen to find the other room, though, right?
There's another room.
What?
Well, keep looking. You'll know it when you find it.
Oh. Wait, what?
I'm gonna try to summon a portal.
What? Oh.
They're gone.
Wait. Did they? That was. Wait, what? Holy.
We can
What
stop our
now?
recording.
Wait.
Oh.
Dilly? Dilly? Question mark.
That was a good outro. We missed the dilly though. Didn't get one.
That's okay.
Jibbs just pieced out through a portal there and was just like, whatever. What's up? Find that other room.
Oh, so good. Okay, I'm stopping recording now, yeah?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Right. You guys are champs. Holy crap, that was long.
Almost 3 hours long. You guys have just bossed through this. There is one final thing that I'd like to get sorted now that we're done the recording part of our session. Is we have to draw for somebody to win a copy of Necrom. And Jibbs, if your name comes up, we're gonna have a few questions.
He said don't.
No. Awesome. So this is everyone's last opportunity here to enter the draw for a platform-wide, so that's PC, Xbox, and PlayStation copy of the Necrom chapter. It is an upgrade version, so you do need to have a copy of ESO to begin with. To enter, type !Mora in the chat, and I'm going to give everybody a few more seconds here to do that. Lock in your guys' chance at winning. A couple more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and it is closed. I have a winner.
Who is it?
Congratulations to Draylin Loreseeker. Reach out to me. Yeah. Reach out to me in Discord and we will set up getting you that copy. Congratulations. However, you have to currently be here in the chat. So if you're not there,
Draylin, please be here.
there we go.
Yay!
Congratulations, Draylin, on a copy of Necrum upgrade. Well done. Absolutely fantastic. So I'll be in touch with you. I think I speak for pretty much every single person here in chat right now. Again, Jibbs, Kash, Gone Crazy back soon. Thank you all for coming together, making this work to get this live session off the ground. It's been a lot of logistical stuff in the background. A lot.
Oh, well, thank you again. Thank you for thinking of us and inviting us. And it was truly, it's always special to see so many people and then all the stories tonight. That's things that I hadn't truly thought of in years. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for having us and thank you for coming.
Yep. Thanks for carving out some time to listen to us yap for a little while. It was pretty special to be part of the 5-year anniversary and just be able to witness the thriving community and how well it's
Yeah.
doing and see so many great names. We love you guys.
Was a pleasure, gentlemen.
I have to say that this community would not be what it is without the people that are sitting in chat or sitting in Discord. So on one part, we do our part in just kind of guiding and directing the community, but the people that are most important realistically are the ones that make up the community as a whole. So
Oh, sure.
we're always here if you need to be retrained. Oh.
I love it.
Oh, that is too good. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, chat, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. We will chat with you later. And an ode to old times. Jibbs, take us out with it. Dilly dilly.
What?
Check
That
out.
was Kash.
Is that Kash?
Dilly dilly, everyone.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's right.
Dilly.
Bye.
Dilly.